how can you expect me to show up and be the best version of myself every single day for you if I don't believe you as my leader are showing up to be the best version for me, to give me that example?
What do great leaders do? They listen, they learn, and then they lead.
We talk a lot about break points, and so many business owners are so close to either breaking through or breaking, right? 97% of all businesses under 100 million within 10 years will fail. And the failure, in my mind, comes from a lack of consistency across the whole business and that chipping at the rock. But I think the single biggest mistakes I think business owners make is the last 3 laws in the book. So, law of listening. Well, if you're not listening to your team and you're not hearing what's important to them personally, professionally, and financially, and you're not connecting with that, then why should they listen to you? And then it leads to heart. You said if you want to get a hand, give one first. So if I want my team to do something, I need to first demonstrate what's in it for them, and I'm committed to their success. And then emotion. Where there's a lack of emotion, I have a rule in business: the only emotion that belongs in business is the emotion of celebration, because high emotions, low intelligence. But if you're celebrating, who cares? You can go break stuff and throw things at each other. You're all so happy, it doesn't matter. So when I read these laws, I just see the sequence in which you must connect with people to move them so they move the business. Talk a little bit about personally, professionally, financially, about the significance of this.
One of the laws I have in the 16 Laws book is the law of the thermostat. And the law of the thermostat says that communicators, leaders, read the room and change the temperature. Instead of trying to get people to fit exactly what they had planned, they read the room. And what does that mean? You read the room. What do great leaders do? They listen, they learn, and then they lead. They don't lead first. And the key to listening is asking questions. In fact, I wrote a book, as you know, several years ago called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. And it was all about the fact you just got to be asking the questions. But the ability to listen to the people, to know where they are. You know, before Jack Welch passed away, of course, he was a mega CEO for General Electric for so years, in the good years of General Electric. And when he would go to a plant, he'd talk to the plant manager for about 30 minutes, kind of get the lay of the land. And then he said, I'll see you at 3 o'clock. And he left. And he'd go through the plant. He'd go down to the lines and he'd talk to the people. And he'd ask them questions. And at 3 o'clock, he'd come back to the manager and he'd say, did you know? Did you know this? Did you know that? Did you? And the manager would say, oh, I had no clue. Well, what was Jack Welch doing? Jack Welch, instead of staying in the office, was out there with the people, finding out what worked, what did work. Because here's what Jack Welch knew. The answers are always at the lowest level possible. The problems are solved always at the lowest level possible. The decisions have to be made always at the lowest level possible. And so that's where he went, and that's what he learned. And then he led. I think so many times we're so anxious to lead that we haven't found the people yet, and that gets us back to the mother of all mess-ups, which is assumptions.
And when they do know what direction they want to go, and they do have this picture, they forget to include the picture for every person they need to get help from in order to accomplish it, and that's the heart. That's the law of heart. It's like, how can you expect me to show up and be the best version of myself every single day for you if I don't believe you as my leader are showing up to be the best version for me, to give me that example so I have something to follow, but also something I can add value to, which is another law. So it's incredible when you use the word simplicity. It's incredible to see how you've just laid out the blueprint. If somebody reads it, applies it, learns to understand it, and then perfects the law, one sequence at a time, one step at a time.